There is no player in the NBA that confuses me and frustrates me quite like DeAndre Ayton. He's not a bad player by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, I would say he's a really good player. He puts up good numbers, he does it on great efficiency, he impacts winning basketball, he has clear special tools and gifts on tape, but every single time I watch him play, I feel like he should be so much better than he actually is. Ayton is comfortably a top 10 center in the NBA, and I would argue he's closer to 5 than he is to number 10. But when you look at his physical tools, skills, and gifts, you would expect someone with all of this to be a dominant player, and he just isn't. When you look at DeAndre Ayton from a physical and athletic perspective, he was basically built in a lab to play center in the modern NBA. He's 7 feet tall, he weighs 250 pounds, he has a 7'6" wingspan. I couldn't think of a more ideal frame for a center in the NBA. He's basically built like Optimus Prime, and he has the strength to be dominant as well. On top of that, he has freakish athleticism. Nobody this big should have any business being as fluid of an athlete as Ayton is. He has good flexibility, relatively good body control, he moves well north to south in a straight line, he moves well east to west laterally, he has great vertical explosion as an athlete. Every physical tool you could dream of in a big man, Ayton has at a high level at the very least. From a pure athleticism standpoint, Ayton has a claim to be the most athletically gifted center in the league, and one of the most athletically gifted centers maybe ever. And I think he has good skills as well. He has good footwork, he has good finishing ability, he has good touch on his shot attempts, he's a great play finisher, he's productive within the context of his role on the team, and he's very efficient as well. For a guy who averages his 30.6 minutes per game and 12.2 field goal attempts per game in his career, 16.7 points per game isn't terrible, especially considering that he's never been the focal point of the offense, and he's done it on winning teams. Again, he's not a bad player, both within the context of statistics and within the context of the tape. I never feel like I'm watching a bad player when I watch DeAndre Ayton. I always feel like I'm watching a very talented player, but I also feel like I'm watching a very underwhelming player as well. Ayton is a very good player. He averages a double-double for his career, never averaged below 10 rebounds per game in his career as a result of that. I mean, last season he averaged 17.2 points per game and 10.2 rebounds per game on a 63.4 field goal percentage on a 64-win team. That's a good player. There's no way to twist that fact. But he feels so underwhelming on tape. It feels like he could be so much better than he is, and that speaks to his talent and ability as a player. He has all the physical tools that you look for, and he has the skills you look for in a player that could be one of the most dominant in the league, but he just isn't. Part of it is the construct of the Suns' offense, but it's also equally on him for his lack of dominance. He doesn't impose his will on defenses the way you would expect a player as gifted as him to. His athleticism and talent is at a level that should be nearly impossible for most starting bigs and forwards to stop. He's big, he's athletic, and he has all the tools to be a physical monster, and he just isn't. Again, we can say part of this is that it isn't his role to be this big-time offensive player that gets a bunch of touches. I'm not suggesting that he should be taking away possessions from Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, because KD and Buck are clearly better players than Ayton, and their success, in my opinion, as far as production, is most valuable to that Suns team. But even when Ayton gets the opportunities, he doesn't impose his will. He settles on offense at a frustrating rate, even when he has a clear matchup advantage. Like, he averages 2.6 free throw attempts per game for his career, and his career high is only 3 free throw attempts per game. A player this gifted from both a skill and physical perspective should never have a free throw number that low, even if they are the third or fourth option on the team. He gets enough opportunity on tape to impose his will physically, but he just doesn't. When DeAndre Ayton entered the league, he had high expectations for good reason. Outside of Victor Wembanyama, who's a complete outlier in basketball history, Ayton is still the most gifted center prospect I've ever seen. He had and still has everything you could dream of in a center from a physical and intangible perspective. He's big, he's strong, he's athletic, he's skilled, he has power, he has finesse, but he just hasn't been close to as productive or good as his talent suggests that he should be. And again, it's not like he's been bad. A near 17 point per game double-double on 60 field goal percentage for his career is good. 18 points per game and 10 rebounds per game on near 59 field goal percentage at 24 years old on a good team is pretty good for a center. But I truly believe Ayton has the talent to be more than just good. I think he has all the tools and talent to be a dominant player. I think he has all the ability and gifts in the world to be a 25 plus point per game, 12 plus rebound per game player in the NBA, and that's based off the production he does have on tape. Even with the role he plays in offense and the fact he settles at a frustrating rate, he still is an 18 point per game double-double guy on great efficiency that impacts winning basketball. Even with all his flaws on tape that speak more to decision making and settling than his actual talent, he still is a relatively high-level player that produces on a winning team. But he lacks the aggression to take that game that he has now and make it to that next level that his talent suggests it should be. I'm not here to say Ayton is a bad player, because he isn't a bad player. He was one of the 3 best players on a team that came within 2 wins of winning the NBA Finals. He's super efficient and relatively a high-level production player given his role and usage. I'm not here to say that Ayton is a soft player either. He's tough and physical on the boards, which he puts a ton of effort and work into, and he's a good defensive player. I'm not here to say that Ayton is a lazy player just because he likes to play video games in his free time. That's a ridiculous thing to even think to begin with, but that's another story for another time. He's always in shape. He always plays at a level athletically that few bigs even come close to matching. I just think he lacks the aggression as an offensive player, which helps out opposing defenses. If he was more aggressive, it would give opposing defenses so much more to worry about, because on top of having to deal with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, 2 of the best scorers in the NBA, this is a player in Ayton that when he does actually impose his will physically and is aggressive, even if it isn't all the time, those moments where he is, he's nearly impossible to stop. It really speaks to just how gifted he is that it's justifiably disappointing that he's produced like this in his NBA career. Because for most top 3 to 5 picks, especially for a big man, what Ayton has done in his career would be considered really good. Because at the end of the day, what he's done in the NBA production-wise has been really good. And it's not to say that he isn't a good player at the end of the day. I've said it like 5 times. He's not a bad player. He's a really good one. But it's frustrating because it's also so clear on tape that he can take his game to the next level if he was more aggressive and imposed his will more. And that isn't just in a general sense, because it's not as simple as him as taking way more shots and being more aggressive, because he does play with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, who are 2 of the best offensive players in the league. But it's more about him just taking advantage of the opportunities he does get, because it's clear on tape he doesn't fully take advantage of the opportunities that he does get, even if he is productive. And that's what's so frustrating on tape. If he does that, he could take his game to the next level. But the thing is, he just hasn't. And I don't fully understand why. Maybe it's because he wants to get out of Phoenix. He did sign an offer sheet with the Pacers, and I do believe that offer sheet wasn't just for Phoenix to match. I truly think he wanted to go to the Pacers, and maybe a change of scenery will be what he needs. And he does have pretty good value on the open market as far as trading goes, so maybe that will be the case, and he goes to a new situation and he does take that leap to the next level. Or maybe it's just who he is. It could be either of those things, and the answer is somewhere probably in the middle. But at the end of the day, Ayton has everything you look for in a center that can be dominant. But he just isn't that dominant player, even if he still is a pretty good player in the NBA. But that's the end of this video. If you made it to this point, thank you so much. Again, haven't already, like, subscribe, hit notification bell, I'm notified whenever I release a video. I'm making videos about basketball all the time, so if that's something that interests you, really think you would enjoy this channel, and liking and subscribing are the two best ways can help me out. Help support the channel, helps me out in the YouTube algorithm, helps when people find my videos, so in turn, it helps my channel grow, and I can make more content for you guys in the future consistently. Let me know what you think about DeAndre in the comment section below. How good do you think he is? Do you think he should be traded? Do you think he could be even better than he is, or is this just how good he is now? Love to hear all that in the comment section below. Make sure you check out my basketball video essay channel, doing more laid-back content about basketball over there. Less X's and O's, less in-depth talk, and more just me talking in general about the NBA, 5-minute videos over there. So check that out if you want to. Link in the description below and the pinned comment. But with that being said, have a nice day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.